What's up, guys? How are you doing? I'm about to go live on my YouTube channel. Now I'm live on my YouTube channel, waiting for a lot of people to join us. I will be talking about my experience in general in Syrian war, and after 20 days of my self quarantine, what is the resembling between them? And I'm gonna start a challenge in classical music. Hi. If you can hear me on the YouTube channel, please give me a sign. Send me a sign. Can you write a comment for me, please, or something so I can know you can hear me? I guess you can. So yeah, I'm also going live on my. Thank you very much. I'm also going live on my Instagram page, telling my friends there that this live is going. We're gonna wait a little bit, and then we're gonna start talking. It's been, I think, 20 days, maybe even more, April 1st, and this is what I'm doing. I wake up every day, make my tea, drink some coffee, and go for the day. So far, no boredom. I'm not bored. Me and Jessie is my wife. If you do not know who's Jessie, we're doing great. We're doing fantastic. So yeah, Instagram, thank you very much. If you are interested, share this, tell your friends. We're gonna talk some good stories here. See you at my YouTube channel. On. Cool. So what's up? How's everybody doing? This is great. Us having technology to communicate and talk to each other and reach out to everybody. It's wonderful that we cannot see each other, but we still can communicate. We can talk. We can share stuff with each other. And it's been one of my goals to be more active online even before this pandemic happening. So I used the bad thing that is happening to make it positive for myself in a good way, to push myself towards doing work. That's one. So yeah, I'll just start. Make sure you share this so more people can see. Maybe I'll say something good. Maybe I'll say something helpful to somebody. So that would be so sweet. So after 20 days, I have more memories. I remember what happened, how it started in Syria. And some people call it war against this virus, and it's a war. It's more horrible than human war. Nothing is more horrible than that. But it's really tough, this fight against something way, way, way smaller than us, way smaller, invisible. So let's jump immediately. So I will talk about how things started in Syria. I was a sophomore in Al-Bas University. It's we can say Homs, a Syrian Central University in the middle of Syria. It's a good university. It's not the best. It's good. And I got accepted there at the music faculty of music education, which it has two: performance education and just education just for teaching. I was accepted the major of violin, so I was a performance major at the same time learning how to teach violin. And life was amazing. Like, Syria was ranked at that time the most safe country in the world. Like, America was ranked You know what I mean? Like America is the best place to live at in the world. Same like Syria was the most safe place uh, in the world, and it was. We used to travel between cities. You don't even need your ID. You don't need your ID to go anywhere. You just jump in the bus and you just go wherever you want. It's Syria is a small. It's not that big country. Before the war, population was 24 million people. We'll also say that. Now it's about 12 million because a lot of people left the country. Um, a lot, it's war. So yeah, in this city, it's in the middle of Syria. It's a medium-sized city. I would say it's like Pittsburgh City, but it's more people, more population. But it's literally like Pittsburgh City where I live now. Everything is awesome. Suddenly, everything is fear, and it started the same. We hear news that there's trouble happening in other countries. What others call it, the Arabic Spring Revolution, whatever. Every person called it a different name, but the majority, the massive majority of people were just scared. In general, just scared. There was fear. People wanted to stay at home. People did not want their kids to be hurt. People were all watching the news, and news was making stuff. Like now, it's the same. All what you can know is from the TV. Everything you can know. So somebody said that somebody said that somebody saw something. Like you don't know what's happening anywhere. You don't know what's going on. So you have to stay strong. At the same time, you're afraid. And if you have kids, you don't want to show your kids that you're scared or you're afraid. And you have to be prepared for whatever you don't know is going to happen. For a college student, my family was living in Damascus because we live in Damascus all our life. So we're from Damascus area, southern suburbs of Damascus. And my family is there, and I'm in the middle of the country, and then suddenly you cannot just travel. It got dangerous, but it was not like few days. We know what's gonna happen. We heard the news. We heard that it's literally the same. Like coronavirus is happening in whatever in this country or that country, and it's gonna come here eventually, and nobody's preparing. The same in Syria. The things were happening everywhere, and nobody was getting prepared. Nobody took it seriously. Nobody at all. And I remember the first day we start hearing we were drinking mette tea, as my wife called it, mette drink, and me and a couple of my friends from the music department, I used to live at the housing because I did not have money to rent apartment. So the government provide that. So schools in Syria is for free. You don't pay money. And there's school housing is like you pay nothing. If you want to make it a US dollar, it's like $10 a year for your housing. So we used to hang out at our friends because it's cooler. They have their apartment, like 3-4 guys. They share some money to have a nice apartment. We go there. We listen to music, a lot of, and we just talk in general about life. And some of them were like, nothing is gonna happen, guys. Let's play cards or let's do something. 2 a.m. Nothing. There was nothing. And 2 a.m. you hear all the churches and the mosques. They are talking loud. You don't know what they are talking about. It's just you hear that something's going on. Then you hear shooting and you hear shouting, and you don't know what's going on. You're just afraid. And this chaos that led to more horrible things to happen. Now, I know myself, and a lot of people might not agree with me on a lot of things, that where we call in Syria, I'm in the gray area of the whole conflict. No, I'm not. I'm not in the gray area. I don't agree. It's called the gray. Same thing with what's happening now. Same thing with what was happening now. Like self-isolating ourselves is good physically, but not good mentally. It's not. I'm trying here. I'm improvising. This is not. I did not write anything, but it's. I live it. I live it every day, and I don't need to really make a script about it because I'm talking from the heart. It's really important to know that what we facing here is so similar for what I faced 6 years ago, and it's not gonna disappear in 2 days. I'm not being negative. I'm just being honest. I don't work in any place, and I'm not a psychic, but I believe in logic and in science. I believe that every action has a reaction, and uh, this is gonna stay longer than when we think what we think, and we really have to stop uh, first being hard on ourselves. So like whatever happened happened. Second, to really acknowledge ourselves, who we are, where are we now, and what do we really want. And third, to really, this is not a joke, or this is not, oh my God, it's real. Like we have to love each other and spread love and spread good energy, because this is how we really survive, and it's really good for our everything, even for your immune system. If you are loving and feeling loved, you are healthier as a human being. And to work to the best, to the better of all of us, not to just each one of themselves. So I'm sharing some of my feelings with you now. Maybe 90% of my talk is not that um, beneficial, but maybe 10%, maybe 1% of what I'm gonna talk, or what I'm talking about now, or the action I'm doing now is gonna be beneficial. Maybe this will wake somebody, maybe it will wake me, maybe I'm trying to wake up myself talking to you. So yeah, going back to the story, the sounds everywhere. We panicked, turned the lights off. There's like everywhere sounds, like bombing, shooting, everything, crazy stuff happening around us. We four guys, we turned the lights off, and then on the news, we're watching news. The media there is not that great. I'm not gonna be coming. I'm not gonna. I'm here to. I'm not here to blame anybody, but the news there is not awesome. Is not good, and they did not cover everything. And so we're watching news from another country, which is dumb. You watch news of your country from another country. That does not make any sense. And they start putting all this poison. Why? Either it's right or not. It's not the good time for it, and the panic start to happen outside. And none of us is from that city, and now we're afraid that something's gonna happen, a genocide or something's gonna happen. So um, we called our families. I remember myself calling my brother, and I told him, "Are you close to my parents?" He's like, "No, everybody's asleep." It's 3 a.m. and we start hearing like heavy vehicles around the place. And because we saw the news and we saw what happened in other countries, um, we just and I called my brother, and he answered me. He's like, "What is going on?" Because in Damascus there was nothing. Like, there's war in some city. The other city they live like in paradise. Nothing is going on. Nothing. They ignore it. Not the wave. They did not get the wave yet, so it's not gonna happen. They just live their life normally. And told my brother, "Get away from everybody. I want to tell you something." So I told him goodbye. I told him, "I'm sorry if I did something, anything bad, anything wrong. Um, say goodbye to my parents, whatever." I thought I'm gonna die. Even my friends did call their parents, all of them. Most of us said goodbye to our families, because we don't know because we're not from the neighborhood, and you cannot just walk outside that neighborhood. In Middle Eastern countries, most neighborhoods have their own community. So if you did not live in the neighborhood, if you did not grow up in that neighborhood, if you don't know all the neighbors and been living there for all your life, it's not a good idea. If there's a trouble happening, you go outside. Not safe for you, even if you are from the same country. That's not your street, not your neighborhood. You don't want to go outside. You put yourself in trouble. And everybody who had kids was afraid for the safety of their kids, and they have a small piece of gun. They went outside with their guns. So now we're like, we cannot even go outside. We're kids, we're not prepared, and we don't have food in the house to just, if we want to stock 1 week or 2 weeks to see what's going on. And we're 4 dudes, not organized, nothing. We're not ready for that. We're not ready for what's going to happen. So we have to leave. I had a cousin who lives like 3 miles away. And this is where the story is going. It's my other friends decided, crazy decision. They decided that they're gonna leave the city. So now at 6 a.m., like it's legit war outside. Everybody fighting everybody. You don't know. It's chaos. It's chaos. I'm not gonna jump and tell you this person did this to this person. No, everybody was against everybody. You against your neighbor, and your neighbor against the other neighbor. If you don't know the person, they are enemy already, because it's chaos. And remembering this, my friends decided to leave to their city. I'm not going to mention the city name. And it was so dumb in my perspective. For their perspective, it was so smart, because they want to go out of that city. And also, as I told you, it happened the same link into the virus situation, that people in big cities that, oh, we go to the countryside, we're good. And they took whatever they had with them there. Either it's fear, or it's real virus they have, or anything, or news, or rumors. They took it with them and they went to the countryside. They're gonna spread the whole thing. Also, them thinking it's not gonna get there. It's also not very smart, because it's basically 1 hour away. So what is 1 hour? Is nothing, basically. They left, and I'm in the house. That's not my house. I decided to go to my cousin's house, 3 miles outside at 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. So I don't know if you are watching me now. I don't know how many percent. Just tell me that there's 4. Thank you very much for watching, first of all. Second of all, if there's kids next to you, I don't want them to be now. This is not for kids. And I never shared this story with anybody. So even my wife is listening to me now. She's sitting there, and she does not know this story. I decided to go, which is a suicidal mission. Like how I'm gonna make it there, because we hear shooting all night. There's shooting happening all over the place. Goodbye, my friend. They took their instruments. Musicians, they have instruments, and they have some money. They don't have a lot of money. They just going from wherever we live to the bus station is the most crazy thing I ever heard of. Anyway, they found a taxi. They walked. So they walked north. I walked south. I still remember. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna make it to the end of the street. They found a taxi. This is what I told me. Another story. They found a taxi. The taxi took them. Can you still hear me? I don't know if you can still hear me or see me, because my internet is going bad. If you can still hear me, please write a comment for me, or send me a like or anything. No? Okay, yeah. Great. Thank you. So, my friends went to the north, head to the north. They had to walk like half a mile, and they had to walk to the south. Said goodbye. They walked. Eventually, they found a taxi to take them, and the taxi asked them for like 100 times more. 100 times, not 10. They asked for 100 times more money than they regularly have to pay. So if it was $10, the taxi asked them for $1,000 to get them to the bus station. This is how crazy it was. It's like within 4 hours, between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. 10 to 100 times more, like 100 times. Took 1,000 from them just to get them there, because he's risking his life to take them to the bus station. and I walked, which was really crazy, because in a car you can just drive fast and get away from whatever you are. But if you're walking and your face is not, people are not familiar with your face, they don't know you live there, you're in trouble. You're in real trouble. I'm walking, it's like a movie. I'm walking between each, there's the doors. So the street is going, it's one way street heading to the south. It's like going small hill going down. And you can hear it shooting. Shooting does not stop. Like, I remember that 1 week, 7 days, you hear shooting. Every minute there's shooting. So between each door and each door, I just hide. I look, and I saw burning cars all over the road. I saw all the trash cans they blocked the roads with trash cans. It's burning. Everybody was at home. For my luck, I walked like 1 mile. I did not see any face, and then I got to wherever I was going, to the beginning of that street that I was going to, and at the beginning of the street, there's nothing really. You can hear it's a Western movie. you hear the sound of the wind, like, and I'm trying to cross the street, and then like 5 people come from nowhere with guns, and they start yelling at me, "Stop!" So I freeze. They don't look like cops. They don't look like army. They don't look like bad people. I felt they are not. You know what I mean? I did not feel like they are gonna do anything. So they are just the street people from this neighborhood trying to protect their neighborhood. This is what they thought, which is chaos. You cannot just go out to protect your neighborhood. It's not your job. But in tough times, that's what's happening. And they asked me about my name, and somebody approached me. They searched me. I'm scared to death. Scared to death. And if you see me 6-7 years ago, I gained a lot of weight being here. So I was so thin. I was just so tiny person. I'm like, so I raised my hand. They searched me. Some guy, he's even like, I was 20 years old. No, I was 21, 22. That was more than 6 years ago. More than 6 years ago. 2011, 9 years ago. 9 years ago, I'm sorry. So I'm like 20, 19, 20. And this guy is 16 years old. He has a pistol. So I'm like, shit. this kid has a gun, you know. I don't want to get him angry. She's, you know, if you don't buy him ice cream, he shoot you. You know, I'm sorry, but it's scary. So he searched me. He was like, he's good. And then one of the guys remembered that I visit the neighborhood a lot, and they remembered me. They called me with name. They was like, oh yeah, we remember. He's fine. Let him go in. So after searching me, they asked me a couple questions, like just to make sure I'm not coming with harm. And they just told me, walk next to the wall because there's a sniper there, and good luck crossing the street to wherever you're going. You just have to run as fast as you can so you don't get shot. I did it. I just walked. I have to do it, or I'm gonna stay long or a week. I don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know what's gonna happen. What made me cross the street? I was afraid to death. What made me cross that street? I decided to cross the street after seeing that group of people at the end of the street shouting, and there's a car, a van, passed them and start shooting at them, shooting at everybody. Passed them very fast, and I jumped across the street immediately, being afraid. I don't know if somebody tried to shoot at me. That I was confused and scared, so I kept running nonstop. I just run, don't look back, run until I get to my destination. And I made it that day. I made it, and this is what we're doing here. We have to keep running, not running from or towards. We have to keep going. We have to do stuff. We have to take it seriously and stay strong. And I don't see this ending in the end of April. Cool. That was a lot of sharing for today. I'm gonna set an event for next time. Maybe I'll share my story with more people. And leave a comment. Let me know if you liked it. And this is my YouTube channel also. If you like my music, you can subscribe to it, see the music, and see the music of a person who lived in that place and is here now. Cool. Yeah, I'm starting. I heard of the April, no, March madness. I'm now inventing April craziness. So I set a goal for myself. I've been practicing every day on my violin. Uh, so for April, I'm finishing a couple music works, and hopefully everything is gonna be over sooner than it should be. If you're a classical musician, you know classical musician, I would love to play with you live. So I'm gonna play the Bach A minor violin concerto. That's one of the things I'm gonna play. This is what I'm gonna talk about now. That I'm challenging myself to play every day up to 10 hours on my violin. So it's not a 100 days challenge. It's like a forever challenge. But we're gonna start it with April. See what we're gonna do in April, and we're gonna finish together my stories, hear your stories. Please feel free to tell me, to ask me anything. So yeah, my challenge to myself as a musician, I'm gonna uh, finish this work, Bach Concerto in A minor for violin. It's amazing. I did play the D minor before the double concerto a couple times. Uh, and after that, I'm gonna play a work by Mozart, most likely the fifth. Hopefully, I will finish this Bach work first, finish the technical issues with it to work on the music, and then I will work on the Mozart. And I'm looking for musicians to play with me because I want to play live on the stage. The reason I came here is to learn more and to be a live performer in jazz and classical music and Middle Eastern style and everything. Um, Another thing I was gonna talk, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, and I have multiple goals. One of them is to raise my followers on YouTube. If you feel like I deserve it, also please share it, spread the word about this thing I'm doing. Most likely, we're gonna go on a live show, live stream next week. It's gonna be a full hour. I'm gonna talk about what happened with my friends, what happened later the next week. With me and my friends, how they made it to their houses, and about the tragic things happened to one of my friends there. Uh, Also, I will share with you what happened after 7 days in this quarantine. Trying to keep it not going to the political way. We're just being humans talking to each other. So yeah, hopefully you like this. Keep safe, stay warm if it's cold, wherever you at. Make a small schedule. Don't sweat it. Don't be hard on yourself. Uh, Small schedule will help you do something. And yeah, you have a great day. Stay strong together.